Jayce Lewis band. So if you could introduce yourself to the camera, please.
I'm Jayce Lewis.
I'm Cyan.
I'm Jayce Lewis.
Okay.
The real Jayce Lewis.
Okay, I'm Jayce Lewis. We're all Jayce Lewis.
Jane Lewis.
Joyce. I'm Joyce Lewis.
Joyce Lewis, you sound like...
This is Martin Thompson.
Hi.
Ironically, my second name for this as well.
What a hero.
Okay, so what does goth in general mean to each of you?
Well, I think Cyan should answer that one.
Yep.
Just because I wear black all the time.
And she's called Wednesday.
They've written on my base saying Wednesday, and I even drew it back. But that's because they think I look like Wednesday Addams.
When they say they, Martin,
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
bad.
Yeah, well, you do partake in the
if I'm
amusement.
You do egg me on a little, so...
Goth, well, I don't know. It's, I guess, black clothes, black hair, black eye makeup. You know, I mean, I would say that we're more sort of industrial electro, but you know, I guess if you start singing in a few octaves lower, I guess that maybe senses
Quite a
goth.
moody sense to the music as well.
Yeah.
It's quite, the sounds are quite dark. I think people can get lost in that in a way that is listening to goth music as well. In a sort of introvert way. That's how what I latch onto when I listen to some of the tracks anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so at what point in your life did you discover alternative culture, and what point from then on did you decide to adopt it as your own?
I wouldn't say I've adopted alternative culture. I know I didn't want to get into really pop music and bands like, you know, boy bands and all that kind of thing. So I guess that makes me alternative. If you don't follow the form, then everybody's alternative, I guess. Just seem to naturally fit in that world. But yeah.
Yeah, I went to an all-girls school and I happened to be the only one that could recognise what bass guitar was. So the musical teacher at the time, the music teacher, she wanted to put like more of a rock band together for the school, and she just said, "Does anyone know what this instrument was?" And I went, "Yeah, it's a bass guitar." And she goes, "Right, you got the job. She's the bassist." And I was like, from then on, I've just been kind of interested in that sound, sort of darker, lower sub-end of music, and that brought me to kind of goth, electro, heavy metal specifically. So since then it's just been an ongoing journey and culminated in Jayce Lewis at this point in time, and I'll probably branch off into other areas at some point, but you know, music's always evolving, and to be interested in that genre you've got to be quite adaptive, you know, adapting to crossovers and how to make something more interesting for yourself as well.
And it comes through in the energy you guys throw around on the stage there, like the passion, it's really evident. So.
Yeah, I think, like, writing the music, because everything's in minor, and popular music is all major key written, so it's naturally somber, and you know, and when you got a good groove and a beat, and it's weighty, heavy music, it sort of makes you just want to throw your head around, which is what we all do. We've all got heads,
absolutely.
So, you know, we
For
throw
now.
it around for now, yeah.
For now.
But you know, music does that, you know, makes you move in weird ways.
Yeah, no one can really pinpoint that direct moment, I suppose, where they heard a song like that's it, that's me.
Well, actually, think of saying that, this band, when I was like 18, 19, and first went out in London to a club in the 90s, it was actually really busy at that point. We had a club every night that was alternative. And I remember it was a bank holiday, and I just walked into this room full of dry ice, and I was like, the first time, and Moonchild came on. And I was like, right, that's me, this is it now, and I just didn't want to leave. And luckily it was a bank holiday, and I think the clocks went forwards or backwards or something, so I had an extra hour of just like being immersed into this like weird zone that I'd never experienced. And obviously with other people as well, but the 90s was just amazing for that kind of thing in London. You'd had any genre in that kind of alternative scene that catered for that.
You're good.
Just remembering stuff.
You're good.
Okay, when you decided to sort of adopt the alternative lifestyle, as it were, did you meet any resistance from family or close friends? And if you did, how did you deal with it?
I mean, adopting alternate. I didn't adopt. I mean, saying to adopt it, I didn't adopt it. It's just.
When you became.
Yeah, I think you resonate with something. You know, and I mean, you know, I got into music because I love, you know, I really like Queen, and ZZ Top. Queen and ZZ Top are my two main things. And then because we had Sky TV when I was younger, I saw Metallica doing Sad But True, and because that low tuning and all of that, it's sort of just, I just sort of went into that, and then it got heavier and heavier and heavier. But I think everybody, when you're younger, you know, you're going through mad things like discovering and you're inquisitive, and you know, what is everything about, and yeah, it just sort of resonated with me, and then you meet like-minded people in school and comprehensive and all that, and then you all cry together.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I guess,
Sharing
you know,
pain.
yeah, you share the pain. I mean, you know, life is quite fucked up, and you know, when you're thrown in a comprehensive school and there's lots of different characters and all of that, for me it was a real mad. Socially, I didn't get on with, you know, many kids in school, and you know, I felt like I was just observing everybody from the outside, really. But there were certain people that resonated with me, that were into Sepultura and into Fear Factory and all of that, and that sort of brought out a lot of alternative, I guess. You know.
So no resistance from anyone received that?
Sorry?
No resistance you see from like growing up from alternative culture?
No, because it wasn't like full-on fashion statement, which might be the obvious thing to pick on. Like obviously, if you're an extrovert, showing yourself to be really out there, and that's your statement. And obviously, you get more picked on what you get asked more questions. But it's more of an introvert thing. It's more musical, and you just wear black.
Are you sort of you're thinking like a rebelling kind of thing? Is that what you're?
Not so much. I mean, this question with some bands has been a case of, like you say, haven't really had any resistance. Others have kind of said, you know, they did have a bit of a shock when, you know, some people close to them were like, really? Do you need to do that? Or, you know, when you get parents say, it's a phase, try to move on. So
Sure.
that sort of thing. So it's, I mean, for some it's an easy path, for others it's not.
I guess that, you know, if everybody's going down that way and it's tacky and cheesy, then I'm going to go down that way. I mean, that's probably the simple answer, and maybe that's kind of what we did, I guess.
Okay. And what one Gothic thing could you not live without? And what one thing would you rather see got rid of?
Ollie.
What was the question?
So, what's one Gothic alternative thing you couldn't live without? And one thing you want to see got rid of?
Southern Death Goth. Gotta live it. Love it. Without? Don't know.
I mean, that could be good. Thanks for you, right?
Thank you.
Black hair dye for me.
Lifesaver.
I couldn't live without that. I don't know.
There's nothing you can really not live without. It's kind of like you make do with what's there. It's like,
I mean, yeah, it's not shelf food and water. I don't think
No,
No, I haven't really thought. I mean, you know, I haven't really thought that I was into goth alternative. It's just resonates. You know, I'm into, you know, I like ABBA, and you know, I like those. I like stuff that's clever. You know, and as long as it ain't cheesy and tacky shit.
Not like Pepper.
Wash your mouth.
No, some of it is
Wash
good.
that mouth out. ABBA's very clever. It's songwriting in that.
Yeah, they're very talented.
knowing me, knowing you.
Classic.
Oh.
I mean, you know, I love all sort of walks of culture and music and all that, but I guess there's an angry part to me, and that probably comes out on stage. I don't know where it comes from, but it's there.
Fuels the fire, right? So.
It's cathartic.
I think
being
so,
on
yeah.
stage, because you're kind of in that zone. And even if it's an introvert, when you're on the stage, you can't. There's no option to be like in your room, just like in your own world. You have to perform and be part of a group. And I think that pressure is good for people like introverted that have to get on with it and just show themselves as well.
It's like expression and stress relief.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and And where would you like to see alternative culture and the alternative music industry progress in the future?
These are like massive, like world-changing questions.
I didn't come up with them on the train, honestly.
Oh, right.
Well, the music industry, I think it should be monetized better, so that people could, so that it could, people could make a career and all of that. Sort of been fortunate in a lot of ways, but I've seen a lot of change, and I've definitely seen a lot of people give up on it because for monetary reasons, So that's sad, very sad. And what was the other one? Alternative. Where would
Just generally the alternative scene and music.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm pretty happy with where alternative stuff's going. I think people are becoming more accepting of difference, and if people are not like you, then don't judge, just accept. And
It's a massive movement now, isn't it? To actually just come out as who you want to be.
yeah, I mean, people are
Especially on
comfortable.
Instagram, if you're going to be like an ambassador of something a bit quirky, a bit different. But then it gets all very diluted. There's so much to think about and so many new different ideas coming to the fore. It's all getting quite sort of bitty. It's not really like, oh, there was an alternative scene, so either a goth or a metaler.
Yeah,
Back in
it's
the
a
day.
chaotic amalgamation of thousands of ideas.
Exactly, it's all
looks.
crossovers, they have to crossover. But it's interesting, but it's kind of confusing as well.
Okay, and lastly, before I ask your final news question, so what tips do you have for people who are considering getting into alternative culture and who might even potentially be sort of closeted in, not wanting to be out there as the rest of us?
I would say just be you. Don't worry about what people think, because it doesn't matter. And just believe in yourself, be confident, and accept what you are and who you are, and carry it with conviction.
And just find a channel to do that through. For me, it was through music. For others, it's the way they dress, or through art, their own expressionism through art. There's always a way into that, which then you can expand on once you meet other people that are like-minded.
It's more eyeliner,
So you get the whole spectrum.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so and finally, do you guys have any news that you'd like to tell the audience about? Any work you've got coming up or lined up?
We've just announced a tour with Gary Newman again for the third or fourth time in Europe. Gary's a great friend of ours, and somebody that is encouraging us, himself, to keep going forward and doing stuff with him, and we vibe really well together. And so looking forward to getting back out on the road, but this time in Europe. So it's a challenging market, especially with Brexit. So looking forward to doing that and bringing it even louder.
Excellent.
Amen.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, thank you ever so much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.